Look who it is.
What's up, guys? How you doing, brother?
What's up? It's been a minute, dude.
It's been a minute. You've been busy. You've been out.
Yeah.
Enjoying your life right now.
Yeah, maybe not, maybe a little too much. My wife enjoys her life for sure right now.
Yeah, she is. That thing is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Holy.
And if you don't know, guys, my wife is riding tall. You can check out the video, but
yeah, I checked out the video. I gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
man, that thing is gorgeous. Holy,
it is. No, honestly, she likes it more than I thought she would. I was a little nervous because I didn't really let her drive one before we went and go pick that up. And she didn't.
I want to rephrase that. You didn't let her drive?
Well, no, I did let her drive one here before we went and go buy one.
Right,
yeah. No, but regardless of it, so you guys know that Ram trucks have had a tough few years, and it seems like they're getting out of the woods here.
Nope.
No, they're not?
Nope, because this one right here is in for the famous 2459 DPF regen frequency code.
Oh, no.
This thing's got 22,000 miles on it. It's a 2024. There is soot in the tailpipe.
Wow, soot in the tailpipe?
It means the DPF is compromised internally and bypassing exhaust gases.
Can we go look at that real quick?
It's just a tiny bit.
Yeah. It's just a tiny. It's okay. I want them to see.
There should be absolutely none. But you can plainly see that it's not. And then watch this. Clean hands.
Wow. Should not be able to do that.
No, none at all. There is zero tolerance for soot in the tailpipe.
Yes. Well, the DPF is supposed to catch that, and the SCR is supposed to make that, the rest of it.
SCR has nothing to do with soot.
Well, no, not with the soot, but it's supposed to make the whatever comes out of the NOx. DPF. The NOx, yeah.
So SCR takes care of NOx, DPF takes care of soot, turns it to ash. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of issues, and I had a chance to talk with our area tech rep here the other day about this, and they've had 3 of them that they couldn't figure out, so they ended up replacing injectors. And there's actually a TSB out there about wrong injectors being installed.
Really?
Yes. So now we got to remove valve covers and look at the coating on the injectors to see if they're wrong injectors, whether they were put in from the manufacturer or wherever else.
Hold on. So you're telling me the manufacturers at the plant assembly could be putting these together wrong?
I ain't saying crap.
Okay. Holy smokes.
Here, ask me that question in another 2-3 weeks and I'll give you an honest answer.
Okay, sounds good.
I can't do that right now.
Okay, I understand that.
And everybody else understands that now too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my friend, some of you guys might know who Demonology is. So he has a 2022, I believe, Ram 3500, and he got a check engine light. So he went to the dealership and they basically told him his entire emission system needed to be replaced, including the EGR, because that was leaking into the DPF. And so he was like, man, I gotta pay 7 to 8 grand to get my truck fixed. So then I just told him, bro, you might as well go ahead and do weight loss program for that kind of money. And so he was actually getting ready to do that until he took it to a independent shop, and they basically did a deep dive just right here. What is this called here?
Mass airflow sensor.
Right here. So I'm gonna let Josh take it over from here, because this is a master tech, and when he does diag, he's actually going to do diag. He's not going to just tell you, hey, it's going to be 7 grand after an hour of just not doing anything. Right.
So that brings up the other part of the shop too. Very little drivability diagnosis will I be doing.
Okay.
That's one thing I want to get away from, because it is extremely labor intensive.
Yes.
We can spend hours upon hours trying to diag this. Let's say with this truck right here, we've got exhaust leak tests that we have to do, intake leak tests that we have to do. We have to go through and test air volume coming in, and we have to test fuel delivery. You know, there's 3 or 4 hours worth of testing that goes in just to try and make an educated guess on what the problem is. Then we have to do electrical testing between the DPF differential pressure sensor and the PCM C2 connector to make sure that we don't have any kind of shorts in wires or opens in wires and stuff like that. The procedure is 7 pages long. It's like 42 steps. that you have to cover all the bases before it tells you replace DPF pressure differential sensor. Nowhere in any of that does it say anything about this little bugger right here.
Wow.
Yet this little bugger right here can be a cause for it. Not always. We'll get to that in a minute. Another problem that we're seeing on the DPF regen frequency codes is high engine oil levels, because they're making their own oil. Because it's trying to regen, so it's putting fuel in on the exhaust stream. That's how a Cummins initiates a regen cycle. When they're going through and having a lot of regen cycles, some of that fuel makes down into oil.
And that's 2024 and earlier though.
Yeah, actually 13 through 24.
Okay, 13 through 24.
And
okay.
I had a 3500 in yesterday. Is a transport truck that had a whole bunch of DPF codes. He has soot in his tailpipe. I mean, and that's the first one that I've seen where it exactly applies the same as the 19 through 24s.
Right.
Okay. So not only that, but then you get the guys that are taking their vehicles, and I hate to say this, but even at dealerships, taking them in to get an oil change, and they are not getting drained sufficiently.
Right.
So they're putting 3 gallons back in, but there's still a quart and a half left over because they didn't let it drain for an hour.
I see.
And now you end up with high oil level. It ends up going right through the CCV, right back into the turbo, and you end up with not only fuel coming from the injectors, but oil going through the turbo to corrupt the DPF, the DOC and the DPF.
I see.
And when oil comes in there like that, you'll get what's called face plugging, where all of the little tiny holes going through the DPF substrate gets plugged off with oil that hasn't burned completely. And then there's where the damage starts. Now it starts melting down the substrate inside of the DPF, and you end up with a regen frequency code because there's not as much substrate there that can handle just the exhaust gas.
I see.
So it's kind of confusing when we get into it, but there's just a crap ton of, sorry, I try not to swear, there's a crap ton of stuff that has to be taken into account before we can just start replacing parts. And that's where it's getting really bad at dealerships, because warranty only wants to pay me 9/10 to do 4 hours worth of diet. It's absolutely terrible, and you can't just get fast at that. It takes time.
Yeah. Well, when you're a master tech, that is, you want to make sure you do the job right the first time anyway.
We get graded on things like FFV, which is fixed first visit, and CSI, customer service index. And if I hurry up and shotgun stuff on your truck, and then a week later you got to bring it back for the same thing, now it takes my 100% fixed first visit and drops it down to 90%. And then the next one's 80%.
Right.
My CSI index will drop severely. So now when it comes time for me to ask, and yes, we have to ask for raises because our bosses are stingy or whatever. When it comes time for that, then the first thing they're going to do is pull up my FFV and my CSI. The second thing they're going to pull up is my adjusted time for, how much my performance index is. So a good flat rate tech is going to be 160 to 180%. But now if I'm taking 4 hours and getting paid 9/10, that's a 25%. So every time I have all of that extra time that I'm logged in, so let's say I log into the clock 9 hours a day and I only produce 6, I'm below 100% efficiency. So they'll pull up that and then they'll go, yeah, you don't deserve a raise. Yet I'm the one that's spending all the extra time to diagnose your vehicle correctly. So where's the money in it for me? That's why senior techs are leaving dealership by the hundreds every day now. That's why you can go to any dealership across the country, and you've heard the Ford CEO online talking about it, about there are 6,000 open bays in his dealerships right now. Yesterday, I walked through the shop and I counted 18 open bays in this shop.
Wow.
And it's because you don't have competent mechanics working there. You don't have guys that are actually going to go through and do the diagnostics. They're just going to start shotgunning parts in your truck and get you out the door. They'll deal with it next week when it comes back.
Right.
So it's, the money is not in it at the dealerships anymore. And that's where independent shops and their pay structure are changing the game.
I see.
It used to be where when the independent shop couldn't figure it out, they took it to dealership. Now it's turning around to where a lot of dealerships, when they can't figure it out, they take them to the independent shops.
That is pretty sad.
There's guys, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's guys all over online, especially transmission techs, that when the dealership can't figure it out, they're taking it to these guys. And these guys are keeping up like their GM certifications and stuff like that, so that they can still handle stuff under warranty for the dealerships.
Wow.
It's getting absolutely stupid.
Right.
The dealership level performance that you're getting all across the country is ridiculous and pathetic, in my opinion.
And then back to the overfilling of the oil.
Yeah.
How does the CCV play into that?
When the oil is over full, crankshaft is going to be spinning in the oil, and it creates more mist in the system.
I see.
So once you end up with more oil mist in the crankcase itself, everything's got to go up through the CCV filter, and the CCV filter's job is to actually filter that oil so it can drain back into the crankcase, and the gases go back into the inlet of the turbo. Now if you have way more mist and that CCV filter gets plugged up, it's going to bypass and send oil right down to the intake of the turbo. Right. There's where overfilling, why it's so important that you have correct level.
Yep. And that's why people should be checking their engine oil. Even if you're taking to the dealership, doesn't necessarily mean the tech that you're going to get understands that there could be a little bit of oil left in there. So don't put, what is it for, I know for the GMCs it's 10 quarts, but for the Rams, 12 quarts. They may have to put in 11 and a half.
If you're only going to drain for 15 minutes, then you put 11 quarts in.
Right.
Because you're not going to get it all out.
Exactly.
You're not going to get it all out in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
So when I get these in and I've got 7 lines worth of diagnostic and an oil change, the very first thing I do is pull the drain plug.
Wow.
Let's get that oil drained while I'm going through doing all the rest of the diagnostic.
Yep.
That way we get a very accurate and thorough drain before we continue on.
Yeah. And so you were talking about this guy here earlier.
Yes.
And this is why my friend had an issue. Like, again, $7,000 is what they were quoting him, $7,000 to $8,000 to fix an issue that wasn't even existent on his truck.
Right. That's because a tech didn't dive deep enough into the technical service bulletins to find this issue out. And if I log in right now, I am logged in. I'm not going to show you this because, again, I still work for somebody. When you pull up that code, it's not going to show you just in the code diagnostics to check some of the stuff.
Yeah.
It shows up in technical service bulletins. It shows up in Master Tech articles and tests that we have to take monthly and all that stuff. And I've argued with Dealer Connect and Stellantis about including all of this in the diag procedure, because so many times this gets missed. And on this exact particular instance, and the problem that your buddy had, there is a TSB out there that states that this mass airflow sensor made in Germany with the designation AARFN is bad. It's a piece of crap. Whenever we see some of these codes like the PL620, the 2459, that we look at mass airflow sensor, and we want the Chinese designation mass airflow sensor, and then you can't just replace the sensor. There is an hour-long road test, very specific cycle of events that has to take place when you replace a mass airflow sensor, or you're just going to get a code back again.
Wow.
You have to relearn mass airflow sensor to the computer.
Really?
Yes.
So are you plugging into the OBD while you're driving?
No.
Okay.
No, you just, so for instance on that, you have to do 3 cycles of this. You have to drive for 10 minutes over 2,500 RPM.
Okay.
Immediately pull over, shut the vehicle off, let it sit for 10 minutes.
So there's a procedure for that. Okay, so this is not just jumping on the highway and...
You have to do that 3 times.
Oh my God.
That's an hour.
Wow.
Just doing the relearn.
So that's why I see Ram trucks on the side of the road all the time. I'm just kidding.
They're there waiting, or just got done helping their Ford buddy get going again. So. They're doing the paperwork so they know what to charge this guy.
Yeah. Well, hey, bro, thank you so much.
All the time,
you know, we got to put a plug in here. Insane Diesel, you have a website. I have a website, so I'm going to post this on your channel too. So Banks products, if you guys need anything from us, down below, promo codes there.
Yep.
This truck needs some Gale Banks love, right?
It needs a lot of it.
Oh my gosh.
We can drop some catalog on this thing.
Yes, sir. We need to talk to the guy. He's that's why he's having this problem. He should have had some Banks love in here, you know? His truck would have been a little bit better with just I'm joking obviously, but
yeah, because if I go contacting customers about that, then I get in serious trouble.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
It's all good.
Yeah, but man, thank you again for this. This is very helpful. But yeah, before you start replacing $7,000 worth of parts,
7,000 is pretty conservative.
Exactly.
You start replacing SCR, DPF, injectors, and all kinds of, you hit 13 grand pretty quick.
Wow. Yeah. That's insane. Well, honestly, it wouldn't shock me if that dealer knew he didn't have that problem and they were just quoting that and they were just going to fix this one problem. I
would hate to think that a dealer is going to actively try and rip somebody off like that. I know there are people out there that will, but I want to think better about people in the dealerships and stuff, because I don't want to give everybody a bad taste of, immediately walking into a dealership that they're going to get screwed. Yeah.
Well, not every dealership's bad, right? That's why I come here with you, because I immediately saw the work that you do. Okay. So again, I like what you guys do here, and when you have a shop in the future, you can always recommend people to come here for certain things too. That way.
Well, and that's going to be one of the key things with me opening up my own shop.
Yeah.
There's going to be certain things when the customer brings it to me, and I'm going to be like, no, you need to take it down to the dealer, and I'm going to recommend this place. Yeah. And then they're going to get jobs in here that they don't typically do, and especially after I leave, they don't really have anybody else here to do them, that they're going to kick over to me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not burning my bridges.
Yep.
I've kept my bosses 100% informed of what my plans are. So, it's going to be a good move.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you bell notification on. See you guys soon.
Have a good one.